We're gonna let the beast out, caged up, held down for far too long. You ready? Be ready. Breathe in, smell the victory. Breathe out, let go of all the doubt you feel. Believe, reject defeat. Don't ever be afraid to be a legend. When it's on the line, seize the moment when the moment's right. Come on, you're in this fight. Don't ever be afraid to be a legend. Stand the test of time. Seize the moment when the moment's right. Come on, believe you're in this fight. Don't ever be afraid to be a legend. Hold up, are you listening? Focus in, we're looking to make history. Let's go, we know what we've waited for.
Hey everybody, this is LG, your friendly neighborhood sports host. I suppose you could call me. Some people call me Larry Godwin, some people call me LG, some people call me Larry, and some people call me a lot more interesting things than that. But we won't go down that road tonight. Hey guys, welcome to Around the Nation. It's Thursday night. Well, actually, it's not Thursday night. It's Wednesday night. So why in the world am I on the air on Wednesday night? My bad. See you guys tomorrow night. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. There is a reason for that. If you guys have been watching this show for any length of time, you know that for the last year or so, I've been battling the oral surgery bug, right? I've got some issues with something going on in there. And my oral surgeon, she keeps telling me, hey, come on back. We need to do another surgery. So apparently they haven't fixed what needs to be fixed yet. And so that surgery is scheduled for tomorrow afternoon at 4:30. And I didn't think it was a good idea to have my face basically swollen more than it is now. Basically, it looks like after one of these procedures, it looks like I have a softball in my mouth, right? And I would be under the influence of pain medication tomorrow. So I did not think, now some of you might find that very entertaining, but I did not think that would be a fun show to do. So anyway, that's why I moved it up one night in advance. And that's why we're having a show tonight. Now, as far as my other co-host goes that you normally love to hear from, that's Billy Pearson and Chris Bisher. They couldn't be here tonight as well. Well, they were going to be, but Billy's not feeling very well. Chris Bisher, because you guys know by now that he is the president of the band Booster Club. And I think they've got some type of winter guard competition, I believe, coming up this weekend, maybe a little bit later. And he's helping to build some props. So he couldn't be here tonight. So listen, I want to thank Chris and Billy for everything they do. I'm just glad to have them here when they are available. So guys, it's just me tonight. And then I thought, man, it would be great to hear from a sports reporter from over on the coast that knows a little bit of something about prep football over there, specifically Richmond Hill football, because they're going to be joining Region 17A. And so I had that reporter scheduled to be on tonight's show as well. And he called about an hour ago, says, Larry, I'm not going to make it, man. Had a little fender bender, so I'm taking care of that. So, man, I just not going to make it. Now, if he gets that resolved, then I gave him the call-in number, so he may be calling in later tonight, but that's doubtful. So, guys, you guys are just stuck with me, but that's okay. That's how we started from the very beginning. It's just you and me, and we've got a lot to talk about tonight. So let's go ahead and start that. Before we get into the meat of the conversation tonight, I need to go ahead and tell you guys about our sponsor, right? And we got some fantastic sponsors. We really do. Like Pepsi, fantastic a relationship that I've developed with Pepsi. You guys see the Pepsi drinks behind me there. I love this one. That one right there. Mountain Dew Spark is the one that you see on the platform up there, a little trophy case. But I wanted to tell you guys tonight about Mountain Dew Energy. Don't know if you've had a chance to use this or try this yet. Maybe using is the right word. I don't know if you had a chance to try this yet, but I'm anxious to try it. So I think I will tomorrow morning just to give it a shot. Now, I do have to warn you, if you guys love caffeine, you're going to love Mountain Dew Energy. You know why? At the very top of the can, it says 180 milligrams of caffeine. Whew, that's a lot. So, man, I'm going to be buzzing off the walls tomorrow, but that's okay. Pepsi provides all kinds of products, and we are so thankful to have those guys signed up this year as a title sponsor. Other sponsors, I want to make sure. Tim Neesmith, man, I love this guy. Called him up last minute. I told you about all the cancellations that we have. Called him up at the last minute. I said, hey, man, why don't you call in so we can talk about, this new defensive coordinator, what are the expectations of fans, if any, that kind of stuff. So Tim said, sure, I'll call. So I love this guy. And he also is a fantastic sponsor of the show, A Shade of Perfection. He does fantastic job with custom shades and blinds. I also want to thank the Migraine and Spine Clinic of Valdosta. Josh Batson and Justin Haskin do a fantastic job. If you ever suffer from migraines or low back pain, or if you need a nerve conduction study, they can help you with that. You know what I did a couple of weeks ago? I sat down with Kyle Conger. He's my financial advisor. Fantastic guy. Some of you know Kyle, but he's got three locations now. One in Thomasville, one in Valdosta, and one in Jacksonville. He took over an agency down in Jacksonville, and he does a fantastic job. He helped me map this turbulent stock market that we're entering, and I'm 51 now. I'll be 52 in August, and you know what that means? I'm thinking about retirement more and more, and Kyle just kind of calmed me down and said, hey, you need to think about this and this and this. Basically gave me a stepped out plan or approach, and got all that. So I'm very confident heading into my twilight years, and you should be too. I also want to thank Verizon Wireless on Perimeter Road. My son, Matthew Godwin, does a fantastic job there. He says if you need phones, Androids, accessories, give him a shout at 229-244-5855. And of course, G Nation Media, that's our company. If you are interested in sponsoring this program, give me a shout. We got some other projects on the horizon that we're going to be launching on a national scale. Yeah, you heard me right. We're going to be launching something on a national scale. I've partnered with someone that you guys know. I won't reveal it yet, but we've had him on the show before. He called in, but we're going to launch something on a national scale in the next few weeks. And when we get ready to go live with it, I'll tell you all about it. And maybe I'll have him on the show and we can double team you guys that night. So looking forward to that. G Nation Media, a lot of good stuff. Let me go ahead and blow this up because this deserves a lot of attention. What's happening around Lowndes and Lowndes Athletics? This is not directly related to Lowndes Athletics. What is wrong with my hair product is just not staying in place tonight. You guys don't have a problem with that, do you? But I do. Look, the new Lowndes High School is finished. They're getting ready to move in. And the ribbon cutting ceremony, everybody's been invited. The public's been invited to tour this new high school that we spent a lot of money on, like $50 million or something like that. March 12th is the ribbon cutting ceremony for the new Lowndes High School. That they're going to have that ceremony at 10 a.m. and the open house is from 10:30 to 12. So show up. It's on a Saturday. You shouldn't be, you shouldn't be caught off guard or anything like that. Show on up. It's a big celebration. Let's go out and tour the new high school. A couple of other things that are happening around the nation. I want to congratulate Dominic DiTomaso. I saw this, his mom and dad are very active in the wrestling world with Lowndes Wrestling. And Dom is a fantastic wrestler. But I saw this post from his mom and other pages on Facebook. And I hope they don't mind me sharing this tonight. So this photograph is courtesy of Christina DiTomaso, Dom's mom. And she says, man, what a night. We've been so blessed to attend many South Georgia FCA banquets through the years, but tonight was without a doubt the most special. Dominic DiTomaso was recognized tonight as the LHS FCA Athlete of the Year. So they celebrated that at a banquet, a lot of family and friends there to attend. And so we want to congratulate Dom for having a fantastic wrestling career at Lowndes High School, But I think probably more importantly, being active in FCA, and now he's being recognized as the LHS FCA Athlete of the Year. So congratulations, Dom. That's a fantastic honor, and we want to thank Bobby Willis and the FCA organization for basically stepping up their game over the last several years and really impacting the lives of student athletes, not just at Lowndes County schools, but all across South Georgia for the, enrichment of the student athletes. And so they get exposed to what it means to live like Christ. They get introduced to Christianity. And to me, that's a very important thing. So we want to congratulate Dom DiTomaso. A few other things that's happening. Not last night, but I think this was Monday night. Lowndes baseball is back in full swing. And they had their first game Monday night, Wintersville Classic baseball style. And so they defeated Valdosta 9-4. Their next game is against Stars Mill at a neutral site. And so that's going to be coming up, I think, later this week. So congratulations to Ryan Page and the Lowndes baseball team. They're off to a fantastic start. I remember last year, they made it all the way to the semifinals, ran into a buzzsaw with the Parkview Panthers. But you know what? We expect a fantastic season from those guys again. So anyway, congratulations to Lowndes baseball. How about keeping with the diamond, this time turning our attention to Lowndes softball? Congratulations to Madison Van Allen. Big congratulations for committing to further her academic and athletic career at College of Central Florida. So Madison, we're proud of you. Way to go. Madison Van Allen with the Lowndes Vikets fast pitch softball team. She's going to be continuing her education and playing softball at the College of Central Florida. So congratulations, Madison. Let's give you an update on Lowndes basketball. Guys, this Lowndes basketball team, whether you're talking about the girls or the boys team, they're on fire. Lowndes is currently 21-2. They finished off the regular season by defeating Valdosta, I think by 20. I think it was like 72-52, something like that. And so they find themselves ranked number 15 in the state in Class 7A with a 21-2 record. So I don't quite understand these rankings. They're from Max Preps, but Max Preps has them ranked at 21-2. They will start their region tournament. I'm not exactly sure when, but that should be coming up soon. So we will keep you updated probably by next week's show. Congratulations to the girls basketball team. They finished the regular season with a 17-7 record. They're currently ranked by Max Preps as the number 11 Class 7A girls basketball team in the state. So congratulations there's all kinds of fantastic things happening with Lowndes athletics. So congratulations to all these student athletes. Of course, you've already heard us talk about these, but we're still in the month of February, and this happened earlier this month of February. Just to recap, because last week we didn't have a live show, and I missed you guys. Last week was kind of crazy because I had a business meeting down in South Florida, had to drive, and I chose to drive all the way to Miami. I don't know if you guys ever made a 7 to 8 hour drive by yourself. That's tough. It really is. So I was calling everyone I can think of to keep my mind occupied and keep me busy. And because you can only listen to so much 80s music. Yeah, I said it. You can only listen to so much 80s music on XM satellite radio. So I made the drive down there. And when you get past Orlando, you're thinking to yourself, okay, I don't have much farther to go. But you know what? I still had a long way to go. I was only basically halfway, a little bit more than halfway. So I had to trek on down there to South Beach in Miami, attend a business meeting down there, came back and got back Thursday night. So we couldn't do our 2 weekly shows last week. So I had a couple of shows that basically were running replays of previous shows. And so we appreciate everyone's patience as we did that. It just couldn't be helped. So anyway, I want to make sure we don't leave the month of February without recognizing these guys again for what they did on the football field. These 4 guys are from the December signing period of National Signing Day, right? This was back in, I think, early December. So congratulations to Ja'Cory Brown. He signed with the University of Miami. Ezekiel Duncan, North Arizona University. Deontay Hunter, University of South Florida. Josh Pickett, he is going to Mercer University. Josh, man, I hope you have a great time at Mercer. Mercer has a little special place in my heart because my nephew Bailey is a freshman, I think a civil engineering major at Mercer University this year. He's a freshman, so we're very proud of him. Just made the president's list, by the way. So Bailey, if you're watching, correct, congratulations, buddy. He's just, what can I say? He's continuing a trend in our family. We have high expectations. So congratulations to Bailey. Congratulations to Josh Pickett, Lowndes High Vikings football team, for signing with Mercer. And there's 4 other guys that signed just a couple of weeks ago. And that is Chase Belcher. He signed with North Arizona University. Tyler Belcher is staying somewhat local, going over to Albany, signed with Albany State. Peyton Gunn, he's staying local and has signed with Valdosta State University. Looking forward to seeing that young man play. Unfortunately, has to be on the baseball hider field, right? But he's a Valdosta State Blazer now, so I don't mind going and watching that kid play. And then, of course, Chris Thomas, fantastic. The only regret that I have with Chris Thomas is we only had him for 1 year. He transferred in the summer, I think, of before last season, and he had a fantastic career, a 1-year career at Lowndes, and did a fantastic job. So Chris has signed with Tennessee Tech and will be moving off to Tennessee pretty soon. And then, of course, a player that we graduated a couple of years ago, I think he originally signed with Kennesaw State. That's Dominique Marshall. He hit the transfer portal and is now signed with Lenore Ryan. So congratulations to Dominique Marshall, another fantastic hands of glue type of wide receiver for the Lowndes High Mighty Vikings. So congratulations to Dominique Marshall. Here's one of the topics that I wanted to get to tonight. And I really wanted to get your opinion on this. We've talked a little bit about this, but just recently, Lowndes made it official. You guys know that we had a couple of openings on the Lowndes staff. One was created because Mark Hurt became the head coach at, I think, Pike County High School over in Alabama. And now that created a vacancy. And the long rumored, probably a week or so, maybe 2 weeks, was that Ashley Anders was going to be the defensive coordinator at Lowndes. And the staff was kind of being coy with it because the Board of Education hadn't voted on it to make it official yet. But now it is official. But interestingly enough, during that time when it wasn't official, we had all kinds of people calling and asking, hey, I heard Alan Rodemaker is going to be the new defensive coordinator at Lowndes, or I heard this guy or that guy. I heard Ashley Anders. And then Chris Beckham reported that Ashley Anders was going to join the defensive staff at Lowndes, and that spurred all kinds of rumors there. And so we're happy to report that Ashley Anders is officially the defensive coordinator at Lowndes High School. And he's bringing with him. And, Ashley was a defensive assistant over at Colquitt County this past season. And he's bringing with him an offensive line coach because we had a vacancy there as well when Bryce Giddens is taking his services back home. He's originally from Colquitt County, played for the Colquitt County Packers, went off to college, became a pretty good assistant coach, and now is moving back to Moultrie to take over those same duties, offensive line duties for the Colquitt County Packers and their new head coach, Sean Calhoun, which created a vacancy over here at Lowndes. So Lowndes has picked up Buck Hansen. He's hired officially on the staff now. He's going to be the new offensive line coach along with Daniel Brinson, I believe. So they're going to double team that effort. So last year it was Bryce Giddens and Daniel Brinson. And this year it's going to be Buck Hansen, Daniel Brinson. So Buck's been around for a while. He's been coaching football for quite a while. So I'm sure the Lowndes offensive line is in very, very good hands with him, as well as the defensive side of the ball is in very, very good hands with Ashley Anders, because Ashley's been around football for a while, not just at the high school level, but the college level as well. Now, here's the thing. We're going to have some real talk tonight. Okay. We're going to have some real talk. And so what do I mean by that? You know, some people say that because Ashley or Coach Anders, didn't make it long term with the Tiff County football program, and his last year, just the Blue Devils just weren't a very good team. I can't tell you why. You can just look at their record; they just weren't a very good football team. Now, some people equate their performance, and then they conflate that by saying Ashley Anders was the head coach. That means their defense stunk. And so why did we hire Ashley Anders as Lowndes' defensive coordinator? Guys, that's just not how football works. Okay. You can be a head coach, you can have some success and then fall on hard times, whatever. But that doesn't affect the position coach or the position experience that you grew up with. Ashley Anders is a well-respected defensive mind in the world of high school and college football. He just is. That's just a fact. He is. You ask coaches all around and they will tell you, yeah, this guy has got a really, really good defensive mind. But that won't stop the skeptics. That won't stop the Lowndes haters out there. And let's face it, we have some Lowndes haters within the Lowndes community because they don't like the head coach or they don't like the direction of the program. They think that the way that Lowndes practices now is softer than the way they practiced under Raymond Fear. All those reasons I've heard, and you guys have probably heard them too. But I don't think those are relevant arguments that reflects this hire. I think Ashley Anders has earned his stripes on the defensive side of the ball, and I think he's going to do a fantastic job. Now, there are going to be some that, for whatever reason, they are just longing for Byron Slack to come back to Lowndes. Guys, that ain't going to happen, especially in the near term or the midterm. I don't know what about the long term, but the guy is settling in, and he's hiring a pretty good staff up there in Cook County. So Byron Slack is the new head coach at Cook County. He's putting together staff. He ain't coming. So let's stop, get off that train, and get on this other train. It's called the Ashley Anders train. Let's give this guy a chance. So that's what I mean by let's have some real talk tonight. So I don't have Billy here or I don't have Chris here to bounce these things off of. I've got you and I've got me. And so tonight you're going to get LG unfiltered, right? I'm not going to filter my opinion through any other people tonight. You're going to get exactly what's on my mind. And so, guys, I'll be honest with you. It's tiresome to have these debates all the time about Lowndes should have hired this coach, or Lowndes should run this offensive scheme, or we should do this defensive scheme. Come on, man. It's great to be fans and voice our opinions, and I love it. That's what I'm in the business of doing, offering fan opinions, right? But let's at least make them make sense. Let's have some fun with it, but don't do it at the detriment of the program, because no one wins when we just badmouth the program all the time. It's complete, in my opinion, and this is just LG talking, it's completely legitimate for fans to talk about their program because it's our program. It's not the coach's program. I don't care who the head coach is. It's not the coach's program. It's not the school system's program. It's not the athletic directors or the administrators or even the students. It's the community's program. You know why? Because we fund the dang thing. That's why. So I think it's completely legitimate for fans to voice an opinion as long as you don't get out of hand, as long as you don't attack, because we're talking about high school players, right? You don't need to be targeting specific athletes, not by name, not by number, none of that, right? But it is legitimate to talk about what you see. And so some of the discussion that's been going on in the offseason has been circling around Lowndes football. Not Lowndes football, I'm sorry. That's a given. But the Lowndes defense. Because last year, the offense scored a ton of points. Fantastic offensive production. But let's be honest about it. the defense kind of struggled some. Not struggled some, but struggled all season. And so let me get into this next topic. It's kind of related. So let me take this screen down and bring up this screen. Something that I posted on the Viking Nation earlier, I think this week, was not even my writing. It was I shared. You see this on the screen now. It was an article. Let me take this call, and then I'll get back to my thought. Hey, caller, welcome to Around the Nation, man. What's on your mind?
What's up, LG?
What's up, Timmy?
I need to call back when you get off your soapbox.
No, I'm just going to scoot over and ask you to join me up on this soapbox so we can have a real conversation. Are you up for that?
I'm whatever, man. I'm here.
Let me ask your opinion on the role of fans when it comes to high school football in general and our Lowndes Vikings specifically. What do you think the role, is it legitimate for fans to provide critiques or constructive criticism for the program?
Oh, I think so. Yeah. I was listening to a little bit of your soapbox there just for a minute before I called in, and you talk about the community, and I couldn't help but think. I don't know if you've seen Andrew Whitworth last week won the NFL Player of the Year, NFL Man of the Year, Walter Payton Award.
Okay.
Which Kenny Moore was up for the Colts, and I was really wanting Kenny to win it, but after watching Whitworth's speech, I was a Whitworth fan after he got off the stage.
Okay.
17-year NFL career, has done a lot, but if you hadn't seen it, go back and watch it.
Okay.
It's worth the watch. But
let me write that down. Andrew Whitworth.
Andrew Whitworth. He's the left tackle for the Rams. Played at LSU. He was drafted by the Bengals. Played for the Bengals 11 years, and he is the left tackle for the Rams. But 41 years old. Just outstanding. Has done things the right way since he got into the league. But just go back and watch that presentation, and I shared it on my Facebook page last week after, and he's got the right thing. But he said, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the fans, if they wasn't in the stands, if they wasn't buying our jerseys, if they wasn't watching us on TV, we wouldn't be here. He said, we get paid very well to play a kid's game.
Gotcha.
And I mean, you talking about the community made me think back to what he was saying, and it's very true.
Right.
But yeah, I think we can critique and armchair quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Stetson Bennett talked about it last night a little bit. Armchair quarterback. You can't listen to it. But we all gonna do it. We all do it. Everybody says, why did you run that play, or why
Absolutely.
are we running this sequence? I mean, we've done it. I've done it. I mean, we've all done it.
That's right.
I've heard my wife. I've heard other ladies saying, "Why do we run the same three plays? Why do we run the same three plays?
That's right.
That ain't working. Why do we run it again?" And I mean, it is what it is. But
somebody, let me get your take on this. Somebody told me one time, that was a Valdosta fan. We were having a discussion kind of along these lines about the role of fans. And he said, so I asked him, do your coaches, your fan base, do they think fans just go overboard when they, jeer, not just cheer, but jeer from the bleachers? And he says, you know what Nick Hyder's take on that was? I said, what? I thought he was going to say he didn't like it, and he didn't care for it, or wish fans would stop. He said, as long as they're in those stands and they bought a ticket and supported the program, they can say whatever they want, and it doesn't bother me at all because this is their program too.
That's right.
I thought that was a very healthy perspective.
It is, and he's right, because look, if we don't, and no offense, but Valdosta, when they fired their coach and hired the other guy, the touchdown club suffered.
That's right.
And they can deny it, but I know for a fact they suffered.
Right.
I heard Rush Probst himself say they didn't have money to buy water for the players in the touchdown club. Okay, so without a touchdown club, everybody suffers.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it's about the kids.
That's right.
At the end of the day, it's about the players that are out there playing the game and busting their tail at the 5:30, 6 o'clock morning workouts. But if it wasn't for businesses and people putting in their time and their money in the touchdown club, that don't happen.
They
don't get breakfast in the mornings. They don't get bus rides. They don't get steak dinners on Friday before the game. They don't. I mean, they may get it, but they're paying for it out of their pocket, not out of the Lowndes High Touchdown Club.
That's right. So, Wilbur, Wilbur Pelfrey, love this guy. I love Wilbur.
Wilbur. Wilbur.
He says some things that sometimes comes across as very direct, but I appreciate his candor. I really do. And he makes this comment, and I completely agree with him, but to a certain extent. Wilbur says, Tim, he says, let's flush all the negativity on the defensive performance from this past season. Past is past. I agree with him to a certain extent, but I think what we're talking about now, especially on the defensive side of the ball, is not necessarily negative. All fans like me are doing when we're talking about the defensive side of the ball is we just hired a defensive coordinator. What's his philosophy of defense? What's he going to correct that we didn't do correctly last year? Those are legitimate conversations that fans have.
Oh, I agree. I mean, it's a new coach. I'm assuming that he'll have a new system because it's his system. It's not the old coach's regimen, if you will.
Right.
I think Ashley's a great hire. Ashley done a great job at VSU.
I completely agree with you, man. I'm actually excited about Ashley Anders being the defensive coordinator. I want to see what this new blood to the staff is going to do to the energy level of the defensive side of the ball. I can't wait to see the spring game.
Right. That's right. When is the spring game?
That hasn't been announced yet.
Oh, it hasn't been announced yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what has been announced? You know what has been announced by Valdosta? Valdosta released their schedule for next season. They released it today, and the Wintersville Classic is going to be on October 7th, and the game again is going to be played at Martin Stadium this year.
That's right. Yeah, I knew that. I knew we had Valdosta back to back.
Right.
I had not heard the date yet, but it's October 7th. I seen that today. And that will be the first region game, right?
Correct.
That's the first region game for both teams.
Yeah, so we'll have Valdosta at home. I'm not exactly sure about the dates on the other ones, but I believe it's Valdosta, and then we go over to Camden County. I can't remember the dates, but anyway, we have Valdosta at home. We have Richmond Hill at home. And then we have 2 road games, Camden County. We go back to Camden County again this year, and then we go over to Moultrie to play Colquitt County. Now, the Colquitt County game is not going to be the last game of the season for us, like it has been in the recent past.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting to see. It might be Camden County. Camden County might be the last game of the season, but anyway, it's gonna be. It
was
fun.
This year, right? It was this past year.
The Colquitt County game.
No, Camden game. Wasn't the Camden game the last game of the year? Because
that's a good question.
It was. We had already beat Moultrie.
That's right. It was. You're exactly right.
So
that's right.
Camden was the last game of the year over there.
You're exactly right.
And we had to come from behind.
It was that miraculous play of the last part of the game. That's right. Yeah.
So we was already region champs.
Yep.
Going to Camden.
Correct. But that win what that win did for us was it denied Colquitt County the ability to claim co-region champs.
That's correct. That's correct.
Because we would have beaten those guys in a tiebreaker and taken the number 1 seed, but they would have legitimately been able to claim co-champ status because we've done that in the past too.
That's right. That's right.
So anyway, I'm looking forward to Ashley Anders coming over and becoming the new C. I'm looking forward to Buck Hanson as the new offensive line coach. He's been around football for a while, so it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Franklin Webb asked a question. He says, "Has the Lowndes schedule been released?" Franklin, it hasn't. Not that I know of. I'm expecting it to be released soon. I think all teams are supposed to have their schedules into the GHSA by March 1st. So that hasn't been done for Lowndes yet.
It's both. I'm assuming Ashley and Hanson are both on campus already.
Yeah, they've been voted. They've officially been voted in by the Board of Education. So they should be on the payroll, man.
Should be on the payroll.
That's right.
Well, how about real quick shout out to the Lowndes baseball on a sweep this week against the Cats.
Yep. So did the 9th grade and the JV win?
Yes, they did. They won both games.
Fantastic. Hey, let me get your thoughts on the new field. Now that we're talking about Lowndes baseball, did you have a chance to go out there yet and take a look at the new turf?
I've seen the field, but I did not go Monday night. Was planning on it and got cold and just I didn't. I sat here in my chair and listened to it on the radio.
Gotcha.
I talked to Mason Steele's mama today, and I told her, great job by him. Mason pitched well. The other night, I told her great job.
Right. I got you.
But
well, listen, man, I appreciate you calling in. Thanks for helping me out, and we always love your support of the program.
Well, I appreciate you, Larry. Thank you for what you do. And real quick, I did go out to the high school last night to the FCA banquet.
Oh yeah,
and they moving a lot of dirt. Out there with that. What do you call it?
It's officially called, I think, the new multi-purpose indoor facility or something.
Multi-purpose building, yeah. We can't call it an indoor facility, but the multi-purpose building is they're moving dirt and it's going quick. So
listen, when all this construction is done in the next 18 to 24 months with all the new athletic facility upgrades, that campus is going to be amazing.
It looks great. We was there last night, and of course they moved into the new part yesterday. Monday and Tuesday they moved into the new building.
Cool.
And it looks really good. So yeah, you're right. In 2 years, that campus is going to look like a small college campus.
That's right. We're kind of running out of real estate, man.
Yeah, we are. We are running out of real estate.
One of these days, we're going to have to pony up and buy out Lowe's or something. I don't know what we're going to end up doing.
I've said that they should have never sold that. That was Lowndes High's property to begin with.
That's true.
And they sold it to Kmart 100 years ago.
Yep.
I'll remember that when Kmart was there. But seriously, thank you for what you do and trying to get out there about these kids. I appreciate me being your last resort when everybody else fails on you.
Listen, man, we talked about this. You got to look at it with a different perspective. You're not my last resort. You're my first guy out of the bullpen.
That's right. First guy out of the bullpen. That's what was his name? Wild Thing.
Wild Thing. That's what that's your name from now on. No longer Stick Man. You are Wild Thing. I think that's more appropriate for you anyway.
All right, buddy. Well, y'all have a good evening, and I'll talk at you later.
See you, man.
Bye-bye.
Man, I love talking to that guy. Tim Neesmith is he's almost an institution in the Lowndes community, isn't he? Everybody loves. We should have a reality show. Everybody loves Stickman, right? But I kind of like that Wild Thing. That nickname might stick. When I have him call into the show, I might play the Wild Thing theme song. Now, I might get banned from Facebook for playing a song on here that's copyrighted. So maybe I shouldn't do that. But anyway, wild thing, Tim Neesmith. We were talking before Tim called. And so that was a very productive conversation with him. And so, one, I didn't appreciate him saying that I was on my soapbox, but I guess I was, because I was talking about the role of fans. And we kind of have this discussion every 2 or 3 years, because some people don't like when fans leave at halftime or before, whether it's a blowout game or, Lowndes isn't playing very well. We got a fan problem that just leaves too soon. And guys, it's not all band parents. Just don't blame the band parents solely. It's fans across the board. I wish we were louder. I wish that we didn't have to rely on the band getting a warning from the white hat official to pump up the crowd. You guys know that's why the band does that, right? Because our fans just won't get up and cheer until the band does that. And I was like, why is that? Drives me crazy. But anyway, so we got some issues to work on as a fan base, I think. And so one of those issues is the way that we talk about this program. So I think it's like before Snickman called him, before Wild Thing called him, I said, I think it's legitimate to have, these opinions about the program because it's our program. Like I said, we pay for it. We fund it. So why can't we talk about it? As long as you don't get carried away and talk about certain players or positions or denigrate certain coaches and make fun of them personally, things like that. As long as it's within their professional realm, I think it's legitimate. So, what is this? Wilbur Pelfrey. Us old folks have to get home by 11. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Wilbur, if that describes you, man, I'll give you a pass because you're one of those loyal fans that's there all the time. So if you need to get home by 11 to get in bed because you're getting tired, I'm going to give you a pass, man. But thank you so much for being there every Friday night, as it is. Franklin Webb says, hey, good job, Tim. And I know that was a fantastic call. So, guys, if you want to call and join in this conversation, you got to do it quick because we're quickly running out of time. Here's the phone number. The call-in line is 229-469-1205. It's just me tonight. We're just having a conversation about Lowndes football. And that's what fans do. So that's the I'm going to make it scroll across the bottom of the screen so it won't take up so much real estate because I want to bring this back up. This is what I was talking about before Wild Thing called in. And that's this article that was written. Who was the guy that wrote the article? I don't know his name. I've never heard his name before. Drew Movan, something like that. Anyway, he's a writer for, I suppose, ITG Next because those are the guys that published this on their website and their Facebook page, right? So I know a little bit about ITG Next. It's more than Phil Jones and it's more than Mark Dykes. Those guys do a fantastic job with what they do. So on occasion, they will hire interns that sometimes they serve as writers. Sometimes they have people in-house that write articles. So I don't know the role of this particular writer with ITG Next, but he published a controversial article recently about Lowndes football that kind of not just recapped the season last year, but really went out of his way to talk about, honestly, how bad the defense was. Guys, that wasn't me. I posted this article because it was a legitimate media outlet in ITG Next. These guys are what I consider high school football experts because this is their business. This is what they do statewide, and they venture down into North Florida as well. That's what these guys do for a living. So they know what they're doing. So when an article like this shows up on their website, it gets my attention. And so when I saw this headline come out, I didn't read the article first, but I saw this headline. It says, Lowndes football, a season of abnormalities. What an interesting title. Lowndes football, a season of abnormalities. So it caught my attention immediately. And of course, I had to read it. So I scrolled on down and read it. And so let me bring this one up. Here's a couple of excerpts from it. Here's the title: Lowndes Football, A Season of Abnormalities. And the article was talking about, says, oddly, both of those defensive collapses, and he was talking about the Collins Hill game and the Lake Gibson game. We know about Collins Hill. Collins Hill scored a lot of points on everybody, not just Lowndes, but everybody. But we did give up a lot of points against Lake Gibson that some of their other opponents did not, many of their other opponents did not give up, right? And so this writer points out, he says, oddly, both of those defensive collapses came at home, an environment known for its ability to torture opposing offenses, which is true. I don't have a problem with anything that he just said. He says, you'd have to go back all the way to 2016 to find a game in which Lowndes allowed at least 49 points at home. They defeated Hillgrove 92-61. I remember that game. Man, what a game that was that night. The Vikings defense suffered several setbacks, which almost cost them victories against Cedar Grove, Camden County, and Norcross. And if not for hometown Superman, that's an interesting choice of words. I wouldn't describe Ja'Cory as Superman, but this writer did. Hometown Superman Ja'Cory Brown at quarterback, Lowndes might have lost several more games against mid-level opponents with a margin of victory of only 6.3 points. This Lowndes football team was unlike any fans had ever seen. Those are strong words. This Lowndes football team was unlike any team that our fans had ever seen. The vaunted Vikings defense of ages past just seemed to vanish. Those are strong words. Again, not my words, right? Not my words. These writers were. That's why it caught my attention. So this is what fans talk about. This is what media writers talk about during the offseason. Not just about Lowndes football, but every team out there gets this kind of treatment. So I don't think our fans should take this personally. I don't think our coaching staff should. I don't think our players should. This is just what fans talk about. And this is a legitimate observation from a sports writer for last year's team. That's just the way it is. Now, when I posted this on the Viking Nation, you see on the screen, I love Tracy. I really do. Tracy DuBose, she's Coach DuBose's wife. She's a very spirited cheerleader of Jamie and the Lowndes football program. And so when she sees what I think, this is me projecting what I think she was thinking. When she sees that maybe the team was being treated unfairly, or maybe the coach was being criticized unfairly, she has no reservation about jumping in to defend the team and or the coaches, okay, including Jamie. So she posted this reply in the article that I posted on the Viking Nation. She says, so I guess I'm not going to add any words. This is the quote. You see what she posted on the screen. I guess, as Saban said, winning isn't enough anymore. You have to win by 50 now. Let's also not forget the 21 version of Lowndes won the Wintersville Classic for the 5th year in a row. Also, let's remember the schedule is a lot tougher than the past for various reasons. Let me stop right there. She has a point. It's a very legitimate point. So sometimes I think, like she points out, it gets lost in the conversation that Lowndes had a fantastic year last year as far as record-wise goes in the number of wins they had. But it doesn't really contradict what the writer is talking about. The writer concedes that Lowndes had a pretty good team last year, but it had to be bailed out a lot by the offense because the defense at times struggled mightily. That's what the writers, in my opinion, what the writer was trying to point out. I think he clumsily did that in some parts of his writing and came across as criticizing when criticizing really wasn't needed. I think he could have chosen better words, but I understand what he was trying to convey. So let me get back to Tracy's response. So she says, also, let's remember the schedule is a lot tougher than the past for various reasons. And she's exactly right. Jamie has really upgraded the last. And guys, as fans, we've been asking for this for years. Do you remember the years past when we beat teams like Windsor Forest 87-0 and International School of Broward 15 million to nothing? That's an exaggeration, but you get my point. So when she makes a good point, that's like, you got to remember this schedule is tougher than schedules in the past. She's exactly right. So what comes with tougher schedules? That means we play obviously tougher teams, and those tougher teams are good at scoring and they're good at defense. And so our team is going to get tested, and we may give up more points. So you have to take all those things into consideration. And I think that's where the writer missed the opportunity to talk about how good these teams were that Lowndes played last year. And given the fact that we did have a young squad on the defensive side of the ball to start the season, they got better as the season went on, I think. But I think this is where he missed the mark. So Tracy's got a legitimate gripe here, if you will. And then she continues. The wins on this schedule were quality wins against good opponents. I believe that every one of our opponents were in the playoffs except Valdosta, but that was not based on their record. And she's right. Most of them made it deep into the playoffs. I got to go back and check, but I don't doubt her on that. We need to support the players and be thankful for the life lessons they learned through adversity. This is where I disagree with her. I think up until this point, she had legitimate argument about the upgraded schedule and the interesting teams that we played. And we just talked about how much better the teams were, right? And so the article, the writer was talking about that. At no point, I don't think, did the writer criticize the players, say they were poorly coached, or anything like that. Now, we also have to remember that this is a sports writer. It's not his job. He's not a Lowndes fan. It's not his job to support one team or another, to support one play. His job is to write what he sees. And this is what he saw. And so now people like me that are fans, I think she might be talking to here. This is my guess, right? She said we need to support the players and be thankful for the life lessons they learned through adversity. Now, this is where I also disagree with her. I think we can do both. I think we can have a legitimate conversation that involves constructive criticism of the team, because we were there at the games as well. We saw how many points that our defense gave up, and we're just simply talking about that now. Shoot, we're replacing our defensive coordinator. We could talk about he left for greener pastures, and I'm sure that's true. But the fact is, we're replacing our defensive coordinator, and that is a red flag, and we're going to talk about it as fans. That's just what fans do. So I don't think, because the sheer fact that we talk about these things that we see happen on the field, I don't think you can conflate that with we don't support the players. This is where I disagree with Tracy on it, right? So her last sentence. As the years go on and teams stack up, we need to learn to be thankful for all the wins, no matter how they won. Completely agree. As fans, I've heard my buddy Michael Broadwater say this. I've said this before. I don't care if we win by 1 point, as long as we win. That's what we pay our coaches to do, right? Win football games. And if you win by 1 point, you won. But as fans, we see a trend, and I'll be honest with you, we're spoiled as Lowndes fans. We're spoiled in the fact that we're so used to having great shutdown defenses and great running game. A culture gets built into a program where fans just, assimilate to that culture, and they come to expect it. And when things don't go according to that template, that's when fans start to, I don't know if panic is the right word, but they start to talk about those things. So I don't think it's a fact that I think our fans love our program. They love our team. They support our coaches. They support our players. But when they don't see what they are accustomed to seeing, they're going to talk about those things. And besides, this is the offseason. This is what fans do. So I don't think coaches and or wives and or supporters and or administrators, I don't think they should take this banter, this chatter from fans so personally. I just don't. So Franklin Webb says this. He says, it's hard to disagree with the article. We should use it to rally around. I also agree with Tracy. Franklin, you hit the nail on the head, man. I agree with both. The writer was correct in the way that he wrote the article. I think I would have chosen different words, because some parts of the article came across as kind of harsh. especially when you're talking about high school football. When you're talking about using words like collapse, those words are too harsh, because people are going to take those words personally. That's just because I'm a writer too, and I think that you have to choose your words very, very carefully. When I communicate on this program, I try my very best to choose my words carefully because I know it's going to be scrutinized. Listen, I know that when I get off air tonight, I'm probably going to get some phone calls into tomorrow that is going to scrutinize the words that I used on the program tonight. Some people are going to interpret what I said tonight as negative comments towards Tracy, which is not the case at all. It's not my intent at all. I'm just disagreeing with some of the things that she put in our post, and I think I articulated why I disagree with that. So Franklin, he says, it's hard to disagree with the article. You're right. We should use it to rally around. You're right. We should learn from the past. We don't forget about the past. We should learn from it. But I also agree with Tracy, and she had some valid points in her critique of this article and the fans, I think. So anyway, the fact that we've had Wilbur says, the fact is we have had a couple of DCs that didn't work out under Mac also not call it. Well, you're right, man. You're exactly right. We've had a couple of DCs that just didn't work out. I don't mind calling them by name. They're paid professionals, right? Taz Dixon and David Shores. For whatever reason, it just wasn't a good fit. I'm not saying they were bad coaches or bad defense coordinator, because listen, David Shores now is the defense coordinator over at Brunswick and is doing a fantastic job resurrecting that Brunswick Pirate defense over there. And that's not 1A or single A ball. There's nothing wrong with 1A or single A ball, but I'm saying that's a large classification program, and he's doing a really good job over there. It just wasn't a good fit when he was here at Lowndes, I don't think, my personal opinion, as well as Taz Dixon. That's what Wilbur's talking about. Is it bad? Is it negative of me to say their names out loud? I don't think so. That's what fans do. They're paid professionals. That's what we do. And I think we need to start thinking of conversations that we have about our program in those terms. We can disagree with the direction of the program as long as we're not disagreeable, as long as we don't get into shouting matches or saying personal things or personal attacks or things like that. It's completely legitimate to provide constructive criticism from a fan's perspective. Franklin, I agree. We did have a young defense. So, Tim Neesmith, just know we will be 1-0 when we start region play. Just he's saying we're going to beat Valdosta in that first region game to start the season 1-0. He says, Wilbur says, I saw Mac chew those heads off more than well, yeah. Head coaches are known to do that on occasion, right, Wilbur? So anyway, guys, that's the show that we had for tonight. I hope that you found it informative. I hope that you found it entertaining, but more importantly, I hope that you didn't take away or leave this program thinking that what I said was negative towards the program, or what I said was criticizing Tracy DuBose or anybody else connected to the program. That wasn't the intent at all. I was just pointing out the response that she had towards an article that was written about the Vikings, where I agreed with her and where I disagreed with her. So anyway, I think as adults, we can have those healthy conversations without being disagreeable or getting into personal name calling. So that's not my intent at all. Wild thing, what a great way to end tonight's show with a binoculars reference. Wilbur must have had binoculars on because his old behind can't see. I'll just leave that comment just as it sits right there. That comment doesn't need any type of commentary. Yeah, thanks for reminding me that. Clay shoot next Saturday, the 26th. So Tim, if you got a team, listen, you know how well I place in those things, how great of a shot that I am. So man, if you got a spot on your team, give me a shout. I'll help you win that trophy, man. I ain't scared. So Anyway, guys, that is going to be that is going to be the show for tonight. Thank you so much for watching every single week. Make sure that you continue to follow the page, smash that like button, smash that follow button, share these videos, share this live stream on your personal Facebook page. We are streaming now to 5 Facebook pages and 1 YouTube channel. And we will soon be streaming to a Twitter account as well. So that's why I had the sponsors to afford to do these types of things. Because listen, when Jamie DuBose got here and said that he wanted to be a national brand, I'm doing all I can to help him do that. There's not very many high school football programs that have a show dedicated to them every single week that has the reach that we have. So we're trying to make this on the media side of this. I'm trying to turn this, or help at least turn this into a national brand. And I'm confident that we can do it together. And I'm confident that I can do this with your help. So guys, that's going to be the show tonight. So thank you so much. And you're right, Wilbur, I am a ringer on the clay shoot. Thank you so much for watching Around the Nation. I hope Billy and Chris can make it back next week. So you guys have been watching Around the Nation on the Viking Nation Live with your host, Larry Godwin. Some people call me LG. Whatever you call me for dinner. I'm available this weekend. So give me a buzz. Hey, last thing. Go Vikings. See ya.